Once again, the storm of Donald Trump's chaos is shaking the nation. The man at the center of endless controversies, scandals, and investigations has now found himself in the crosshairs of one of his fiercest critics, George Conway. This isn't just another round of political commentary. What unfolded live on national television was less like an interview and more like a dissection, a chilling clinical breakdown of Trump's presidency, his personal life, his failing marriage, and perhaps even his crumbling mind. For millions of viewers, it was the moment when whispers became warnings, and when the image of Trump as an untouchable, strong man cracked right in front of them. But before we dig into the revelations, let me welcome you to Scandal Pulse. If you want the truth, raw and unfiltered, and stories that the mainstream either buries or sugarcoats, then you're in the right place. Make sure to hit that subscribe button right now and join us as we uncover the uncomfortable truths that powerful people don't want you to hear. Because what you're about to learn today will change how you see not only Trump, but the empire he has built around himself. George Conway has long been one of Trump's most relentless critics. The irony is almost cinematic. Married to Kellyanne Conway, one of Trump's most trusted advisors during his White House years, George knew firsthand how the machine worked. He wasn't speculating from the outside. He had watched the gears turn, the chaos unfold, and the lies spread. So when he sat down on MSNBC and began peeling back the layers, it wasn't gossip, it was evidence. It was testimony and it was a warning. Conway began with a blunt truth that many in politics whisper but rarely say outright. Trump is not a man who respects laws, rules, or even basic moral codes. He is lawless. Conway explained, a narcissistic sociopath who cannot follow directions, cannot accept accountability, and cannot abide by the boundaries of the Constitution. That statement set the tone. This wasn't going to be another opinion piece. This was an autopsy of a presidency. And here's where it got darker. Conway pointed to Trump's behavior in court cases, particularly the E. Jean Carroll case, where Trump's own inability to follow his lawyer's directions played right into the plaintiff's hands. What was supposed to be a defense became self-destruction. Trump, in Conway's words, is simply incapable of operating like a normal human being in legal or political settings. He thrives on chaos, and when the law tries to bind him, he reacts like a cornered animal, reckless, impulsive, and dangerous. But Conway wasn't just interested in Trump's politics. He knew that to truly expose Trump, you had to go deeper into the heart of the image Trump has tried so hard to project, his marriage. For years, Trump has paraded Melania as a silent, elegant counterpart to his bombastic personality. The image of the devoted First Lady standing by her husband's side through scandal after scandal was meant to be proof of his strength and stability. But Conway torched that illusion in seconds. There's no love story here. Conway said it's all brand management. Those words hit like a thunderclap because for the first time on national television, someone with deep knowledge of the Trump world said what so many suspected, that the Trump marriage is less a union of hearts and more contracted convenience. Every icy glance, every moment Melania swatted Trump's hand away, every unexplained disappearance during his worst scandals, it wasn't coincidence. According to Conway, it was calculation, it was survival. Melania's silence wasn't loyalty, it was strategy. Think about it. During the Access Hollywood tape scandal, where Trump was caught bragging about sexual assault, Melania vanished from public view. During the Stormy Daniels scandal, when Trump's affair dominated headlines, she disappeared again. During the E. Jean Carroll case, she was nowhere to be seen. Conway painted a picture of a woman who doesn't rush to her husband's defense, but instead steps back, distances herself, and carefully guards her own image. Every time Trump crumbles, Melania retreats, not as a victim, but as a strategist. And Conway posed a question that shook even seasoned anchors. What if Melania has been documenting everything? What if the First Lady, silent and calculating, has been keeping record of the rage, the threats, the bribes, and the breakdowns? What if she has been preparing for the moment when leading Trump doesn't just protect her, but destroys him? That possibility lit up social media. Analysts, journalists, even Trump's own allies fell silent. Because if Conway is right, Trump's greatest threat isn't Joe Biden or prosecutors or even the media. It's Melania. The woman who has seen everything and said nothing. The woman who, in Conway's words, might be the most dangerous witness alive. The revelations didn't stop there. Conway zoomed out from the marriage to the broader Trump machine, pointing out that Trump's circle is built not on loyalty, but self-interest. Advisors, lawyers, business partners, they are all in it for themselves. Just like Trump, they profit from their proximity to him. They play the role of gatekeepers, and they abandon him the second the costs outweigh the benefits. It's a parasitic ecosystem, Conway explained, and Trump is both the host and the parasite. Then came the chilling warning. Conway argued that Trump's behavior is escalating. What he did during his first term, flouting rules, pushing boundaries, inciting violence, was only stage 1 of the disease. January 6th, Conway said, was stage 2. Now, with Trump openly ignoring court orders and undermining the Constitution, we've entered stage 3. And if unchecked, stage 4 will be metastasis, the death of democracy itself. Let that sink in. This wasn't hyperbole. This was Conway mapping out a progression like a doctor diagnosing a cancer spreading through the body of American democracy. Stage 1 was dangerous. Stage 2 was terrifying. But stage 4 is when the system collapses entirely. And Trump, in Conway's eyes, is dragging us toward it with every reckless act, every refusal to obey the law, every incitement to violence. But perhaps the most devastating blow came when Conway turned reflective. He admitted his own mistake in one supporting Trump. He confessed that he should have known better, that he let himself be fooled by the illusion of strength, the showman act, and then almost with regret, he tied it all back to Melania. Her silence, her cold distance, her carefully timed appearances, they weren't weakness. They were strategy. In a marriage built on leverage, silence is the ultimate weapon. And Melania, Conway warned, may be holding on to more leverage than anyone can imagine. For Trump, that's the ultimate nightmare. Because Conway made it clear, Trump doesn't fear prosecutors. He doesn't fear judges. He doesn't even fear Congress. But he fears Melania. Not because she'll cry or beg or fight, but because she knows everything. And if she ever decides to speak, the empire crumbles overnight. And so the question lingers, Melania preparing her exit? Has she already renegotiated her prenup? Is she timing her final move? According to Conway, all the signs are there. The renegotiations after 2016, the cold body language at rallies, the eerie silences when Trump is cornered, it all points to one conclusion. Melania is waiting. And when she finally makes a move, it won't just be the end of a marriage. It will be the end of the Trump myth itself. Conway's televised takedown wasn't just about politics. It wasn't even just about Trump. It was about power. How it's built, how it's maintained, and how it collapses. Trump has spent decades crafting an image of invincibility, of dominance, of control. But in Conway's analysis, that image is already cracked. The courts are closing in. His allies are cashing out. His mind is unraveling. And the one person closest to him, the one person who could destroy him with a single word, is quietly biding her time. The story isn't over. In fact, it may just be beginning. Because, as Conway warned, the next great betrayal in Trump's life won't come from Washington or New York. It'll come from inside his own home. And when that day arrives, Donald Trump won't just lose a wife. He'll lose the illusion that built his empire.